Hi guys, it's Rebecca. So today I'm going to be doing a book haul of all of the books that I have managed to get recently. This isn't over a specific time period or anything, it's just over the last while that I have acquired all of these books. Most of them are physical, but I have also got some recently on my Kindle, which I'll show. There's about 4 books that I've got on my Kindle, but the rest are all physical. So I do have quite a few books here, so I might as well just get started showing you all of the books. So the first book that I got recently, and one that I'm actually currently reading, is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas. I actually haven't read the whole ACOTAR series. I am reading this for the first time. I am really loving it. I absolutely love Sarah J Maas. I am really loving this series so far. I do have to say that I did prefer the Throne of Glass series, but I am really loving these as well. If you don't know, I mean, this is a popular series, but if you don't know, this series is basically a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Only the first one is really feels like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. The rest just don't really feel like that at all. It is a fantasy romance series. I'm not going to try and explain it too much because I know it is so popular, but it is so good and it does deserve the hype. But I am halfway through this book and I'm absolutely loving it. So the next book was actually a birthday present from my friend, and that is The Great God Pan by Arthur Machen. So my friend had got me this little book package, which is like a mystery book package for fantasy horror genre, and this was the book that was in it. She didn't know what it was going to be either, but this was the book that was in it. It has been blurbed by Stephen King saying one of the best horror stories ever written, so that is really interesting. And it says on the back, an experiment into the sources of the human brain through the mind of a young woman has gone horribly wrong. She has seen the great god Pan and will die giving birth to her daughter. It does sound weird, but definitely going to be wanting to read this. It is also very short, so definitely coming up to Halloween kind of time would be the perfect time to get to this one. The next book that I got was also a present for my birthday from my brother, and that is The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. I had really wanted to read an Edith Wharton book because there's this girl that I follow on TikTok and she always talks about Edith Wharton. The books just sound exactly up my alley and the exact kind of thing that I would want to read. So I'll just read out the back of this one because I'm not actually sure what they're about. I just know that the vibes are just exactly what I would want. So it says, a searing, shocking tale of women as consumer items in a man's world. The House of Mirth sees Lily Bart, beautiful and charming, living among the wealthy families of New York City, but reluctant to finally commit herself to a husband. In search for freedom and the happiness she feels she deserves, Lily is ultimately ruined by scandal. Edith Wharton's shattering novel created controversy on its publication in 1905 with the scathing portrayal of the world's wealthy and the prison that marriage can become. That sounds amazing and just really cannot wait to read this. It is a modern classic, I suppose, probably at the point where it's become a classic. I love these Penguin English Library editions. They are just so beautiful. I try to collect these as much as I can because I love them. But yeah, so happy to have this, and I'm so happy that my brother gave me this one. I'm so excited to read it. So the next book was also a present from my brother, and it is another Edith Wharton book. It is The Age of Innocence. So I'm so excited to read this one. It's also another lovely Penguin English Library edition, and it's just so nice. I love the colours on this one. This one also did become a Scorsese film, so definitely going to be watching that after I read this. But it says, Edith Wharton's moving, delicate novel, the first book written by a woman to be awarded the Pulitzer Prize, is an irresistible portrayal of the struggle between desire and duty. Set in 19th century New York high society, it is the story of Newland Archer, who is engaged to the highly suitable May Welland, but finds his well-ordered life upset by the arrival of her cousin, the sophisticated and unconventional Countess Ellen Olenska, who has caused a scandal by leaving her marriage, and awakens in Newland feelings he cannot control. So yeah, just sounds really good. That kind of New York City early 1900s vibes just sounds chef's kiss, so absolutely cannot wait to read this one also. The next book I got over the summer as well, just in a little secondhand bookshop, and that is Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Obviously this is a very famous novel. This is one of those books that I just want to read in my lifetime just to be able to say that I've read it and to see what I think. Not necessarily because I'm actually interested that much in the book, but it just feels to me one of those books, because it's so famous, I need to own at least a copy in my collection of books. It was one of those ones that I never really wanted to spend full price on it, but I didn't want one of the creepy covers with a child on it. I wanted this edition specifically because this is the nicest edition that I had seen. I just never never wanted to spend £9 on this book because I just felt like, I don't know, I wanted to own it, but I just never felt prepared to actually buy it full price. So whenever I found this for I think £2 or £3 in just a little bookshop, and it's in really good condition, there is like a little mark in the back, but it's in like good enough condition, and I just thought, you know what, that's like literally perfect. I've been wanting to own this copy of Lolita for so long, I'm just going to buy it. So yeah, really excited to own this. Don't know when I'm going to get to this because I don't know when I'll ever really be in the mood, like to think to myself, I'll read Lolita right now, I'm in the mood for something weird. I definitely will get to it eventually, but very glad that I own it for now at least. So the next book is one that I have been wanting to read for ages because my friend Katie keeps just saying that it's amazing, and she has like the exact same book taste as me, and that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Obviously this is a very popular romantasy series. My friend absolutely loves them. Like I said, she likes the exact same kinds of books as me, so I'm not always one of those people where like people tell me like what books I should read and like they recommend me a book, but because I already have so many books and my TBR is just constantly there because I own so many books that I've not read, I always put off actually reading anything that people recommend, and then it always makes me feel really bad because the time passes and then they don't really care about it anymore. So I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm actually going to get it and I'm actually going to prioritize it. So that's what I did. I just immediately went and ordered a copy. So it is autumn winter vibes. As the weather gets cozier, I'll definitely be reading more fantasy and romantasy, so definitely going to be starting on this series as soon as I finish off some of my other series like ACOTAR and stuff. So yeah, really excited for this one. The next two books that I got are part of a series, and that is Daisy Hates The Great Undoing and Magnolia Park's Into the Dark by Jessie Hastings. I love this series with all of my heart. I only have Into the Dark left to read because I have already read The Great Undoing, but oh my god, I am loving this series so much. If you haven't heard of the Magnolia Park series, these are the last two in the series. The Daisy Hates books are from the point of view of the character Daisy, and the Magnolia Parks books are from the point of view of Magnolia Parks. But basically it is set in high society England, specifically in London, and it's basically like a Gossip Girl kind of vibe. Honestly, in my opinion, you can tell that the author is American and not English because the characters just don't come across as English like whatsoever. I think anyway, they just don't seem English, like they really seem American even though they are meant to be English. That is my one criticism about this series, but I absolutely eat these books up. Like I love them, I love them, I love them. I love all of the characters. So I have already read Daisy Hates, but I will be reading this soon. So happy to have it. It is just so much fun, but also it can just break my heart as well. So it's just like all of the emotions. I just love this series so much. Definitely so excited to read this one as well. So the next book that I got was actually sent to me from the author, and that is The Crooked Little Pieces Volume 1 by Sophia Lambton. So the author had emailed me just to check if I would like to read her series. I believe there are 3 volumes in this series. She basically said it is for fans of Wuthering Heights, and I do make a lot of videos on my TikTok about Wuthering Heights because it is one of my favourite novels. So whenever she said that, honestly, I was just like sold. It hardly ever happens that authors will specifically mention that a book is kind of like Wuthering Heights, so immediately I was like, I need to read that. The description on the back is kind of long, but there is one paragraph that summarises it, so I'll just read that out. So it says, spanning the 20th century's 5 most volatile decades, The Crooked Little Pieces is a series about inextricable entanglements. Perverse relationships pervade a glossary of scenes. Plots crisscross over a rich tapestry of twists and tension fueling characters, some relatable, others opaque, and many crooked. It is television drama, novelised. That just sounds amazing to me. Like, I actually cannot wait to read it. So the next book I got was also a present for my birthday from Emily over at Emily Kathleen Reads. I'll link her channel in the description if you want to go and check out her booktube. But the book that she got me was Funny Story by Emily Henry. I had been really wanting this, and it was like annoying me because I had really wanted the hardback because I just absolutely love it. It's so nice, but I realised that the large paperback had started coming out, so the hardback was starting to kind of come out of print. That was like really annoying because I really wanted it. So then whenever I saw that Emily had sent me this, I was so excited. So thank you so much, Emily, for sending me this. this. I had actually just finished reading Happy Place and I did enjoy it, so I was really excited to get this one as well, because I was thinking literally before this arrived that I had wanted to get this. So yeah, so excited to read this one. I will read out the description for this because it is quite short. Daphne always loved the way Peter told their story. That is, until it became the prologue to his actual love story with his childhood bestie, Petra, which is how Daphne ends up rooming with her total opposite and the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles. As expected, it's not a match made in heaven. That is, until one night, while tossing back tequilas, they form a plan. And if it involves posting deliberately misleading photos on their adventures together, well, who could blame them? But it's all just for show, of course, because there's no way Daphne would actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, right? So yeah, it just sounds like another fun Emily Henry book. Not sure if I'm gonna get to it this year or if it will be one that I'll be saving for spring, summertime. And so happy to own the hardback because it is so pretty and it looks really nice beside my edition of Happy Place as well. So that was all of the physical books that I got, so I will start to go through the Kindle books that I have got recently. So the first book that I have got recently on Kindle is The House of Lost Secrets by Nancy Harris. So this one is like a mystery thriller-esque book. I'll read out the description because again, I'm not entirely sure what this one's about. I actually forget. She thought she knew her best friend. She was wrong. The weather-worn cottage Clatchin has always been Joe Wilding's sanctuary, a blissful escape from her tumultuous home life. From the first summer Rachel invited her to join the Willoughby family in the wilds of Scotland, she fell in love with the sea air, sandy beach and Tristan, Rachel's older brother. All these years later, Clatchin is where their most important occasions and conversations take place. So when Rachel organises a weekend there, Joe never suspects that this weekend will change everything, because it turns out Rachel has been keeping a secret, a betrayal that plunges Joe into a past she spent years trying to forget. Left to untangle the pieces of their past alone, Joe has to decide if there is such a thing as forgiveness when there is no one left to forgive. So that one sounds really nice and I really like the cover as well, but I got this one on Kindle, so I'll definitely be reading this at some point, hopefully throughout the autumn as well, because it'd just be really good vibes for a mystery thriller. So the next book that I got on Kindle is also a mystery thriller. It is called You Shouldn't Be Here by Lauren Tommen. As a brief description, it says, two strangers search for the truth behind bizarre occurrences no one else dares to discuss, only to discover that they're connected by secrets that could destroy them both. I think it's just another book, mystery thriller about discovering secrets and things like that. So just a typical mystery thriller, but I'll hopefully see if I can get to that one in autumn as well. I feel like I'm just piling things onto my TBR, but it does sound really good, so I will be excited to read that one as well. So the next book that I recently got on Kindle is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. So I've actually started to see this book pretty much everywhere, and initially I thought that the cover was so nice because people were holding their Fairy Loot editions, and I just thought it sounded so good as well because it's a romantasy, and I do love a romantasy. I'm a sucker for just easy to read romantasy. I don't really like really heavy fantasy or anything. I just want Sarah J Maas Fourth Wing kind of vibes. That sounded exactly what this is, and I'm not entirely sure what the actual plot is or what makes it a fantasy or what kind of creatures are involved. Even though I got it on the Kindle, I actually saw that it was free on the Kindle, and that's why I decided to get it on the Kindle instead of buying another physical book that I probably didn't need. This is another cozy fantasy romantasy book. I'm probably going to keep it as a bit more of a surprise for this one because all I need to know is that it's romantasy and it's meant to be good. So I'll definitely be reading this soon, especially because so many people are reading this right now, so it would be nice to see what I think of it. The last book that I got on my Kindle is The Love of My Afterlife by So the next book I got on Kindle is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I had seen Sarah Caroli talking about this and it made me really want to read it because my sister really likes books with romances with ghosts and stuff. Every time I find one, I try and get it and read it to see if it is the kind of thing that she is looking for, because she wants to read one with a specific vibe, and I'm always trying to find one that I actually think that she'll like, because she doesn't read that much, but she will read something whenever she thinks she'll really like it. So then, because I also thought it sounded really good, I thought I'll get it and I'll read it because it seems really good and it is pretty much about a ghost romance. Anyway, this book is, like I said, a ghost romance. It's about this girl, and in the afterlife meeting room, a guy walks in and she's like, oh my god, he looks amazing, I really really like him. And then out of nowhere, I think he's like pulled out of the room and like he's actually still alive. So she then ends up getting another chance at life and she tries to go and find him, and that's like what it's about. So it sounds really good and I'm really 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 excited to read it, so hopefully I do enjoy it. I probably will also read this soon because I want to see if it is the kind of thing that my sister's looking for. I am so excited to have all of these books. There's just so many that I'm going to be wanting to get to. I know I've said I'll be reading this soon and this soon and this soon, but I really will be. I really will try to get through all of these new books, even though I've got so many books already on my TBR, but whatever. Anyway, that is all of the books that I have got recently. I am so happy and so grateful to have all of these books, and I'm so excited about all of them. But if you did get this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, then please like and subscribe. I will be making some vlogs and a recent reads video and everything like that coming up, and I will see you in the next one.